Welcome to another episode of TeeVo and the Beard.
You can't see us, but I'm TeeVo, and that is the Beard.
And
we're doing a shorter episode today.
We're just going to talk about S.H.I.E.L.D.
For a good reason.
For the main part of the show. But we are going to bring back the icebreaker here.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is more... Usually our icebreakers are good discussion questions.
Right.
I would say this is going to be our ice rants.
Yeah.
So, as we speak right now, our major networks being, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, CW, are making their decisions on what shows will live and what shows will die.
And they are dropping that axe like there's no tomorrow.
They are, and for the most part, we're okay with... Actually, no, not for the most part. For the little part, we're okay with some of them.
Valor, life sentence, those can be
Inhumans.
Inhumans, yeah.
Okay with that, but...
Inhumans we knew would be canceled. We were just waiting for the official word.
It was like that person that clearly committed all the crimes in death row.
Right. Good way of
charged with
it.
every count, but suddenly it's like, why am I not dead yet?
They admitted to being guilty.
Charged with all the crimes. Yeah. Photos of them everywhere during the crime scene.
Don't even know why there was a court sentence going on there. So.
Yet they're sitting in death row going, so...
Do I pull the plug myself? Or
is this happening or what?
Yeah.
But for the most part, they got rid of shows I actually like.
Yep.
And renewed some that I'm indifferent about right now.
Yeah.
And I feel...
And then renewed some that neither one of us had heard of.
But they're good enough to be alive.
Right.
And I feel indifferent and angry.
Yeah.
As my personal Twitter has personally attacked Fox Network.
Yeah.
With death and cancer.
Yeah, Fox is definitely the biggest criminal in this.
Well, within one day, the only 3 Fox shows I watch is Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah. The
Last Man on Earth. And The Mick.
Right.
And we all know how I feel about The Mick.
Yes.
And within one day, they killed all 3.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, let's face it. If I were Fox, unbiased Fox, the one that I should have kept was Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Right.
Because that actually does well.
Yeah, it's very popular.
Yes. Now, personally, for me, I would happily trade those 2 for the Mick.
Right.
But they did not feel the same way. And...
But thankfully, at least for one of those, ABC was nice enough to pick up Brooklyn... NBC. Yeah, it was nice enough to pick up Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Well, I think it helps when one of them has a very nice relationship with NBC. Yeah. Being on Saturday Night Live and all that stuff. So Brooklyn Nine-Nine was swiftly resurrected by NBC for a 6th season, which is good. I most likely will watch that.
But the other ones are still laying in the morgue.
They are. Fresh off the boat, we just learned right now.
Yeah.
Was renewed, and I have no idea why.
No clue.
And I said this to you, I haven't thoroughly enjoyed that show in 2 years.
Yeah.
I think I just kind of watch it out of habit.
Yeah.
And I might protest it this time around.
And if you watch it for our listeners out there, if you watch it the first couple seasons on Hulu, you'll enjoy it.
It's actually a good show.
The first couple seasons.
And then
they got into a rut and kind of stayed there.
I don't think they really know what characters work.
Right.
And then they find situations that work with the characters. But it's kind of still in the point of, why do I care? And
it's disappointing because there's so many great actors and actresses on that show.
There are.
That are doing other great things outside of that.
Who will still get work.
Right.
So...
Yeah, I'm not worried about Constance at all.
Or Randall or anything.
Right. Oh, Randall's always had work.
Yes.
He was born working.
He has 2 comic book movies out this year. I don't think he plays a big part, but he's in them.
Right.
And that's a win.
Yeah.
He's in both Ant-Man and Aquaman.
Yeah.
So, he's fine.
Yeah.
Ray Wise.
Yeah.
Ray Wise is fine.
Yeah.
Well, it's just... I remember watching the finale for season 4, and in some ways, maybe they thought this could be it, so they kind of put a nice bow on it. They didn't really end things, because there weren't really stories they had to end.
Right, it's a sitcom.
It was just a nice way, should they not come back, it was a nice ending. And I thought, hey, good for you. You're coming back. I don't think I want to come back.
Right.
I was ready to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Another one that I'm...
Oh no, will Michael Bolton play a bigger role?
Maybe. Well, now that they got resurrected, maybe that's maybe Michael Bolton had a hand in that.
He's the reason they had it. Yeah.
Another indifferent one I'm about, though I didn't watch it, I was just disappointed that this lives, but not the Meg. AP Bio.
Oh yeah.
They didn't watch it at all, but how can you renew one Sunny person and not the other? Yeah. So that's just that. Yeah. And we can't. The show's not long enough for us to list all the ones we weren't even familiar with. Oh no, just in general. But the other one I'm indifferent about just because the lack of interest. Really, both of us. iZombie.
Yeah, I was half excited when I saw it was renewed, but then when they said on CW, my excitement waned. It was like, oh, you're going to be renewed and moved to Netflix. No, you're still going to be under the same management.
You're going to be doing the same thing you're doing.
Yeah, and it's like watching an animal trapped in an undersized box. It was like, you have so much potential. Yeah, just thought of that too. You have so much potential if they just unlock the cage and let you out. But CW can't because they can't. They're a network TV show.
They are.
Which makes a big difference.
And not only are they the network one, they're the quote-unquote young adult teen network.
Right, yeah. Yeah, because like I've never watched 100 or Pretty Little Liars or any of... Oh, no, that was another channel.
That was ABC Family.
Whatever the other shows were.
Life Sentence.
Life Sentence. I personally don't know anybody who watched Life Sentence or Valor.
I know someone who watched Life Sentence, and I'll tell you after we're done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they disappointed that it got canceled?
I have no idea because
just on the premise, I was surprised it lasted a whole season.
I didn't really talk about it.
Oh.
I just know that this person watched it.
Yeah.
But Valor, I don't know who watched Valor.
Yeah.
But Valor is... Am I wrong? Was it the first season of Valor?
I think it was the first season.
Okay.
Yeah. But then Dynasty gets renewed. And that's one I also don't know anybody who's watched it.
Well...
Are you a secret Dynasty fan?
I can see reasons why.
Yeah.
And they both lie in the two female stars.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, any other...
Disappointments? I don't think I'm watching TV next season.
Yeah, I was saying earlier that...
Especially because right now, as we were recording, ABC has not made up their minds on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
Good news for us for the time being.
Yeah.
But, I've been personally preparing for the end of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's okay.
Yeah.
If they get the axe, that's fine. But along with all the other post-mortem people, if S.H.I.E.L.D. goes...
What else is there?
I really don't know if I'm watching TV intently next season.
Yeah.
That's just that.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying off the air, it's like I didn't realize...
TV from this country.
Right. I didn't realize how much I live in the streaming world versus live TV until all of the cancellation bear wreaked havoc on television. I was like, man, I don't know what I was missing out there. Some of the things I'm not disappointed I was missing. Some of the things like, wow, there's a lot going on.
Well, just when there's an audience out there, you got to think, oh, well, this person's watching that.
Yeah.
They're going to keep it around sometime. And
in some aspect, Guess not.
But yay for the ones that got resurrected.
Yeah.
As in, like, they actually died. Not in limbo, but actually died and come back. But whatever.
So good news to you, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah. And for those who watched it out there, not judging, but hey, Last Man Standing. Hey, if you're watching that, hey, rejoice.
Yeah.
It's not us, but...
I'm guessing, though, just based purely on demographic, that if they're watching Last Man Standing, they're probably not listening to us.
Oh, no.
Yeah, especially after the episode we had on man crushes.
Yes.
That one would have cut them off right there.
But just putting it out there. Hey, good news for the both of you.
Yeah. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to get into full spoiler territory with the penultimate episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Excuse me, spoiler alert!
And we're back.
What do you think of the episode, Hot Lips?
Nice. I was going to say, before we did that, I wanted to wish you happy 100th episode.
Yes.
For us.
Yes.
Yeah, this was the 109th for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Happy 100th, Hot Lips.
Thank you, yeah. You're going to just keep leaning on that one.
It
was well done. It
was just one of those moments in the episode that I just love because of the look on Daisy's face.
Yeah.
While they were in peril.
Daisy and Deke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mostly Daisy because she's been there since day one.
Yeah.
And the look on her face. I just absolutely adored.
It was so. Of course, the scene we're talking about is
when Philinda.
Yeah.
Finally.
But Coulson is saving May's life at that point. And they finally embracing the long-awaited kiss.
Yes.
Which I didn't know I wanted until I saw it. Because before I keep going back and forth, it's like, okay, if they get in a relationship, fine. If they don't, I think the brother-sister dynamic or whatever works great. Mm-hmm. They have good chemistry either way. So when they kissed, at first my brain thought this is going to be awkward. And then I was like, no, it works. And then, like you said, you get Daisy's face, who looks like she walked in on her parents.
Yes. I thought it would have been comical if she just got very non-lethally shot.
Yeah, yeah.
like a graze in the arm, just because she looked at him for a while.
This is what takes Daisy down for a minute, is, the kiss.
Yes.
The kiss that almost killed Daisy.
Unless I'm remembering wrong, I just love the look she gave, because she sees Coulson and May hiding behind Coulson's, barrier. Yeah. And then did a double take of...
Yeah. It almost looked, and this says a lot for the actress, it almost looked like she wasn't expecting that. Like, she didn't
Because she, too, has been with them since, day one.
Yeah, it's like Chloe didn't get that page on the script.
Yeah. But, and of course, ended with hot lips.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But aside from...
But I also liked Coulson's line. I thought that would shut you up.
Yep. But aside from the Philinda finally happening... Yeah. What did you think of the penultimate episode?
I really, really enjoyed it. I keep trying to stay on Graviton's side because the episode before this, in my opinion, he was straddling that line between superhero and supervillain.
Yes. And
he was doing it very, very, very well. And so I was like, he's got to turn around. He's got to become a complete superhero 100%, not just because that's what he's calling himself, but he's going to save the world. And then he commits spousal abuse in front of his son.
Yes.
And I was like, nope, Talbot, sorry, I'm not on your side anymore.
Well, it's one of those things that still surprised me in this season. Mm-hmm. Is that every other season there has been a person they're fighting in the climax, towards the climax. Mm-hmm. Season 1, it was Garrett. Yeah. Season 2, it turned out to be Sky's mother, and so on and so forth. There was
who's now back in the show, technically.
But they've been fighting towards a certain person. Mm-hmm. This one, while in the last couple episodes we've had Graviton basically be kind of the opposing force. Right. I don't feel like they're fighting Graviton. Mm-hmm. They're fighting fate. Right. Which is very telling, since they kind of figure this is the last season. Yeah. So I just think that's interesting, because while we see, we have one more episode left, mm-hmm. whether it be the last or just the last of the season, don't know. During the preview, it doesn't feel like there's a showdown, like, all right, they're gonna fight Talbot. Right, yeah. It's like, what do we do about Coulson?
Yeah, it's like world end, world not end. Yeah. In multiple layers. It's like our world with Coulson, the world at large, the real world with the show shield.
Yes. And in one way, they're like, well, we know how at least one of them will turn out.
Right. Well, as the preview says, not everyone gets out alive.
Yes.
So, and I think what that means.
And I think that's serious.
Yeah, so do I.
And, I've been a big AC fan since, he made his appearance in Iron Man 2008, which is 10 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Iron Man came out 10 years ago. So there you go. Agent Coulson debuted 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. But for the show, for the arc they've been on in the 5 years, it would be the first time I'd say this, but I do hope it's Coulson. Yeah. It will have the most meaning, and should they end, it will have the best impact on the show.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Coulson and Talbot, if both of them...
Well, yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me. But if only one goes, I think it's going to be Coulson. Yeah. And I was talking to our main fan, Saran.
Also, R.I.P. Absorbing Man.
Yeah.
Who got absorbed. And he did. The irony in that.
Yeah. I told Saran, I said, if Coulson survives, it needs to be like one of those comic book reasons. It can't just be, oh, he took the serum, he had good surgery. It can't be a simple reason.
Yeah.
It has to be some huge reason that makes him come back. And because I don't see them doing that.
Well, because as the whole show has pointed out, we know what happens if he survives.
Right.
So that's kind of a bummer ending unless they give a very good reason that's not going to be an ending.
Yeah, it's like either you die or we all die.
Yeah. Which then, we'll get a very good glimpse if Deke goes away.
Yeah.
Because he's still around.
And a lot of the script that was going on, I felt like they've been listening to our show with the way they worded a lot of things. I was trying to think of very particular lines. But yeah, the way they talk about time travel now and the way they talk about, Coulson making it or not, not making it. It's like, are you guys the podcast now and we're the show?
I did actually think of another time adventure story for the Deke thing and Daisy thing.
Yeah.
I thought, what if it becomes like a Terminator thing?
Oh, yeah.
Like maybe he might go away, but there's still, if they consummate somehow, they look kind of busy, so I don't think they'll have time to do that.
Right. If
maybe they can
Fitz and Simmons haven't had time yet.
Maybe they can change the future somehow if he succeed.
Right. Yeah. Really mess up time travel. Then.
There you go.
I did like his line of I've seen a lot of weird things. I'm the same age as my grandparents.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. I think Fitz is getting a little tired though.
Yes. I think they're all tired.
Yeah.
They've been through a lot.
But Simmons is still trying to truck on and all that, and Fitz is like, no, gotta help another thing.
Yeah.
He's like...
Mac's still not in the forgiving mood.
No. And I gotta say, though, with all that, so Fitz, in a temporary insanity mode, does something that ends up possibly helping save the world. He gets thrown into the brig. Yo-Yo literally kills somebody in front of everyone, and she just gets to roam around.
Well.
Just say, I mean, the judicial system in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
This is one of those moments where it does help if you're boning that person.
It does, yeah. So if you're sleeping with the judge, you don't have to go to prison.
Yeah.
And it also helps that, hers happened towards the end of the show.
Yes.
So it's like, we don't have time to put you in jail right now.
And as you saw, at this moment, after Yo-Yo's thing, there are a little more pressing things than locking someone in a box.
Yes, we need your metal arms
and your speed.
We can use Fitz's brain from behind bars.
Yes. So the only thing really is, what?
Sorry, it just hit me. The thing that reminded me of our show, watching this, when they were asking, when we first met Talbot, did you imagine this kind of thing? And I was like, you listened to us. You are quoting us on your show.
It's also funny because I've been introducing someone to the show, as I've said.
Yeah.
And we gotten to meet Talbot now.
Yeah.
And just watching the first appearances, I was like, by God, that is... Because this person tries to egg me on for spoilers for season 5. And I said, I can't even... I don't want to spoil it for you.
Right.
And B, I literally can't.
Yeah.
I cannot explain this.
Yeah, you can't go from A to Q.
Yeah. I really can't. Mm-hmm. So that's been kind of fun to kind of banter towards. But just seeing the first appearance of Talbot, even the later seasons, after that, which is like, this is just not right.
To go from the bad military haircut and mustache to goatee and black suit now.
Yep. I'm a superhero now.
Yeah.
It's okay, George.
It's like, I want to believe you, but you have your wife pinned up against the wall right now.
The only way I trust you if you join me.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
Yeah, but it's like you're doing it, it's like you have good ideas, but you're doing it really the wrong way.
Yeah. They're the bad people, George.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Yeah.
But that was very... predictable but very poignant moment. You're the bad guy.
Right, yeah. It was like, that didn't take that much effort to write that line, did it?
But meaningful.
Yeah, it still works.
Yes. But did you enjoy the Krovos and May fight? I thought so.
Yeah. Seeing May really get into it again. We haven't seen her fight like that in a while.
Yeah, mainly because Ming-Na, the actual actress, was injured, so they wrote it in.
Yeah.
Stealthily.
Yeah, and it worked.
And like everybody else really in the season, she's been kind of busy doing other things. But I do enjoy just the ever classic May thing. If I need a weapon, I will take it.
Yeah.
And when...
No matter what size that weapon is.
And where it is.
Yeah, from a knife to a missile.
Yes. As, she fought the alien things.
Yeah.
And I guess they have an attached blade in their arm or weapon or...
I thought it was just a blade they were holding. They, kept somewhere. I didn't realize it was attached until she had to remove it.
And Deke's face, what are you doing? Weapons.
Yeah.
Go, dude.
Yeah. And I love that they're confused that Deke didn't understand the language. Because it's not... I mean, I wouldn't have assumed that he understood it because he was, lower class in there.
I do love his descriptions of the letters.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like a chair with a wavy thing. Got it.
But I like how when he goes, well, I know I can count to 5, and Coulson says, okay, you know 5 numbers. I know 0 too. So 6 numbers. Okay.
Yeah, I do love the. It looks like a chair with a wavy thing, and May's like, got it.
Yeah. So he's really good at describing things.
Very.
Yeah.
And and I do love just. For the aesthetics of it, like the Kovas and May fight, while Deke is running from the teleporter to the missile launcher.
Yeah, he did really good at not dying.
That's also very true.
There were a couple parts I was worried because he doesn't have to survive.
He does not.
For anything else to happen.
And not that we're saying anything bad about him surviving, but if he died, we would have no idea what the effects of the final episode would be.
Right.
Because right now we're thinking, well, if they fix it, there's no Deke.
Right.
So that would be a telling.
Yeah.
If he's still around, then they messed up.
Yeah.
That we know of.
Right, yeah. So the only thing I don't like about how much this episode gave us is how much they're going to have to fit into next episode.
How so?
Because as far as I know, it's still going to be a 45-minute episode.
Yes.
And there is going to be, it looks like there's going to be a lot to cram in there.
Yes.
It's going to be go, go, go. And yeah.
Well,
I wish it was at least a 2-hour episode.
Well, it's kind of funny. Last season, as explosive as the finale with Ada and Ghost Rider was, that was only 1 hour. Surprisingly, I thought so because every season 2 and 3 ended with the 2-part finale type thing. So I was surprised that last season. I mean, they did it. They did it.
That's true. I forgot. Yeah.
I mean, would I have wanted 2 hours? Well, yeah, sure, but
yeah.
But beggars can't be choosers.
But with this one, especially being that it might be the final episode,
I would hope that it just hits the ground running hard.
Oh, and yeah. Well, this episode did because this episode was like. This is where we left you. We are literally picking up right there.
Well, this one, they did end with the notion that so we can use Centipede Serum to obviously save our leader, or mix it with something and stop the guy that could potentially destroy the world.
Right.
Decisions.
Which then makes Yo-Yo's continuous quote about if you try to save Coulson, the world gets destroyed because that. Fits perfectly. It's like the writers know what they're doing.
But, however, we've seen, whether she said it or she said it in some offhand or somehow. But I could stand to be wrong. But her former self, or her future self said, they do it all the time. This is a constant thing that they keep time looping.
Yeah.
They constantly make the same mistake. And you would think after hearing it the first time, you think, oh, don't save Coulson.
Right, get out of the loop.
Yeah. So I'm wondering how this loop will fix itself. Because you got to think, she must have she's tried.
Yeah.
She's tried many times.
Unless the writers intentionally keep it in the loop. And then instead of having season 6, you just keep rewatching season 5 again and again and again. Or they end this loop and it brings us right back to the beginning of season 1.
Well,
you just get to watch all 5.
Well, hey, the 100th episode when the Fear Dimension Mike Peterson came and said, "No, you're still dead."
Yeah,
you knew, we all knew. No, that's not real.
Is it?
Right?
Right.
So, I mean...
As long as they don't end the whole show by saying this was Coulson's dream, I'll be okay.
Or, hello, Agent Ward, welcome to Level 7.
Yeah. That will be the final scene.
And that's how they bring Bertoldo back.
Right, you'll finally get him back, but it'll just be the back of his head.
Yeah.
So you had to speculate, was it actually him?
But I guess that's a good segue for the final bits of our talk today. I have no idea what's going to happen.
No, and neither do I, and that's why I was...
Because you think, like as we said, they could follow their status quo of the time loop, but how is that an ending? Or but it could be just a depressing ending.
Yeah.
I mean, some shows have ended not on happy notes.
Right.
So that's a route they could go.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the other route is the happy one. But I wonder if there's going to be a middle ground.
Yeah.
Like I said, maybe Deacon planting Daisy.
That could be. And I wonder, because they say they're ready for either way. And we, if this show gets canceled or if it gets renewed. And we assume, as normal people who aren't, in the writer's room, that means that their episode, singular, that they have written, is going to go this way.
Yes.
I wonder if they have multiple endings recorded where they go, okay, if we get the call that we're going to be renewed, this is what you're going to see. Mm-hmm. If we get canceled, this is what you're going to see. Mm-hmm. So they might not even know which way it's going to end.
But I like that. But I like to think that if that theory is true, then either A, B, or C, or D will end it, regardless what happens.
Yeah. And if we don't necessarily get a season 6, but if we got, let's just say if we got more S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
What would you like to see the future of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Well...
Let's assume Coulson bites it.
Well, like I said, as Coulson's biggest fan, I still think for the story, it would serve best that he were to die, unless they gave a great reason why he can't.
Yeah.
Which I'm also for.
Yeah.
But let's say in that, he does bite it. I mean, there are other agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. out there. Yeah. And, we've grown to, I think Coulson was a very important deal when the show first started because we didn't know everybody else. Right. We only know Coulson. Well, after 5 years, we know everybody else now. Yeah. So I say they find a new way, but I would hope that they tailor the show to whoever is the new quote unquote lead.
Mm-hmm. So would you want it to be something like New Warriors, where we have Daisy as the lead? Yeah. And would you want them to, in my mind, something would happen that they could actually bring back the S.H.I.E.L.D., the organization, with Daisy as the lead? Yes. Because I think if they keep it, if they renew, spin-off, whatever, if they keep it as the underground thing, that's going to wear thin after a while. I think going back to a similar setup of season 1.
Yeah. Well, what I think the show tailors with how Coulson runs, Coulson's character, if that's not the case anymore, I hope that they find a new way to tailor the show to be that new person. So it's not just watching Chloe Bennett be Clark Gregg.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely not. No, and I would also want it to be, personally, not completely disassociated from the movies. Yeah. But admittingly disassociated, because they've never actually, in my knowledge, come out and said, we're not following the movies.
They never will.
Completely.
They never will.
But I would like them to say, no, we are doing our own thing. If something big happens in a movie, like an attack on New York, then of course we'll mention it and we'll have it in the background, stuff like that. But besides that, we are our own world.
Well, if they get renewed, and depending on when they air it, this phase of the movies may not be what it was. Yeah. So it could be a fresh new slate on connecting.
Could be, yeah. A whole new MCU.
We don't know. We don't know.
Which I have to take this moment to publicly make fun of an article I read that instead of writing Marvel Cinematic Universe for MCU, they wrote Marvel Comic Universe, referring to the movies.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I was like, that's the first time I've ever seen that translation.
Yep. But, I don't really... My best guesses would be after next week.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And I'm, like I told you yesterday, that I'm really only convinced that it's renewed when the episode airs. Yes. Like, they can say it's renewed all they want, but anything could happen between now and fall. And then, even then, once it airs, it's like, is it going to stay?
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to think that. I mean, they've gone this far.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they wrote it in the show that they, you know, they have a small but strong fan base.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to think if they were to bring it back, they would keep it on. So no worries about mid-season cancellation or mid-season stop showing it type.
Right.
Things. But I would say if you make it come back, you know, I'm a fan of all this for any show, sitcom or not.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be 22.
Right. Right.
If it comes back for 10 or 13, I will still be fully satisfied.
But I will say personally, if it comes back as 10 or 13 versus 22, it needs to be a strong 10 or 13.
Well, I think
with 22, you have more room for fillers.
Well, I think that's our problem with certain shows, mainly on CW.
Yeah.
When they do the 13 or 10ers, we always say that those are the best seasons.
Right.
And then when they get the upgrade, we have a little more to say about it.
Yeah.
So
a lot of them kind of overdo the fillers also.
That's true.
Yeah.
But with, you know, let's say they get renewed for season 6. And they say, hey, we're coming back for season 6. We're only doing X amount of episodes. We're only showing it in the summer.
Yeah.
Fine. And that also would coincide after the next Avengers.
True.
If they were to do it next summer.
Right.
But but clearly, as we always say, we're not getting paid for any of
This is all speculation.
We're not getting paid to make any of these decisions.
Right.
But that would be a way to either disconnect or fully connect to the movie universe. Because well, you know, when S.H.I.E.L.D. first started, it was the first show.
Yeah.
It was the first time they had to think of another connection outside of this slate of movies. And the reason why they stopped, quote unquote, and while other movies do mention them, or other shows mention the movies, you know, they don't try as hard as season 1 of S.H.I.E.L.D. did anymore. Because they just don't have time to plan it out. Yeah. They say, okay, what are the very, very important things we have to know?
Exactly.
Okay, got it. We're going to do our thing.
Especially when release dates change.
Yes.
You know.
So that would be a way to maybe be in sync if the movies want to be in sync. But as they've shown, they don't really care.
Right.
So. And that is okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I always have more thoughts after each finale.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other things about this particular episode, though?
I got nothing, hot lips.
I think that about wraps it up for this week. We'll see you next time.